Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
And our next guest, speaking of Best of the Tri-State, we have Hunter Smith, who is the owner of Simple Pleasures, and you were just recently voted the best smoke shop.
We were. First, I got to correct you. I'm not the owner. Right under him, though. He's like a dad to me.
So
but
sorry.
I'm glad to hear that. I get that a lot, actually. Sometimes he'll even go along with the joke that I am the owner. But yeah, we were voted the #1 in the Tri-State. I think we only missed it 1 year since you guys started doing it, just because, we didn't really catch it that time. But every year that we've tried to win, we've took it down unanimously, I'd like to say.
What makes, because there's a lot of smoke shops. It seems like this is a more popular thing that's happening in the area.
Yeah.
So what sets you apart from all the other ones?
Well, that's a great question, because it seems like every time we turn around, there's another 2 opening up. I think the biggest thing that sets us apart, is our diverse product offering, commitment to customer service, our community involvements. How many smoke shops do you see sponsoring softball teams, doing these donations to the firehouse? So, the community that we're in, I think they support us so much, so all best we can do is just keep pouring it back into the community.
And you're in Hagerstown.
That's correct. We're in Hagerstown, Virginia Avenue, by the halfway area.
I didn't know that you did all those different sponsorships.
Yeah, we don't really boast about it or nothing, but it is something that I'm very proud of, and something that I'm glad we're able to do.
Yeah. Are you from this area?
So I'm originally from Smithsburg. I've lived in Hagerstown for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So now I'm starting to claim it.
Yeah.
There you reach a point where you're kind of grafted in.
Yeah.
After a certain amount of time passes.
They're plotting me in with them.
Right? Yeah.
Tell us about you said you have a wide diversity of products. What do you offer?
Yeah, so it started out as just glass and, other smoke shop accessories. It started as a company that only had 5 employees. And, fast forward to now, we have 15 employees. We're selling seeds, clones, growing supplies, growing tents, the hemp flower, all hemp products. We're getting into merchandise and apparel. I don't know if you can tell this fly hat.
Yeah, look, I like it.
But we just started offering some hats, shirts, and we're really trying to just, get it out into the community. We want to have that top of mind awareness for sure.
And you do something called live glass blowing.
Yeah, so we used to have a booth in the store. We did it a lot more. Now it's kind of come down to a couple times a year. But every time we have our block party, we have a 10x20 booth, 2 glass blowers, and it's definitely very popular. So one of my favorite parts of it.
I don't want to sound ignorant. I don't know anything about this. So what
Sure.
do you make? What do you make out of it?
And believe it or not, most people don't when they first come up and look. I think it's what draws them into it is curiosity. But you can make wine glasses, bottles. They'll take a beer bottle and turn it into a dragon in 2 minutes. I mean, these guys' imaginations are just crazy and very talented.
Oh, so you offer that right in the shop as well?
No, not yet. We'd
Okay.
like to eventually. If we ever move to a bigger location, we would definitely have a glass blowing studio in there. But for now, it's just a couple times a year.
Where do you see the future of the store going?
If you'd have asked me that a couple years ago, I probably would have said, probably always be like this. But the amount of growth we've experienced this past year, it's really hard to tell. Like I said, from 5 employees all the way up to 15, longer hours. It's really hard to tell. I'm hoping that we're in a Walmart-sized building someday.
Yeah, that would be great. And
Yeah.
now, I don't know a lot about smoke shops.
Sure.
I don't know if I've been in one. Tell me, what is the benefit and what would be the purpose of exploring the products?
So that's a great question. It's different every smoke shop you go to. I think a lot of people have that stigma of the beach smoke shops. They all look the same. They're not unique at all. Where when you walk into our shop, it's very different than anything you've ever seen as far as a smoke shop. It almost has that at-home modern feel. We've done over $20,000 of renovations to the building that we rent, by the way. So it's not like it's raising our value. We're doing it just to create a better customer experience, and I think it's working out pretty well. The art gallery.
You only have the one location, is that
Correct. We did have one in Chambersburg, but COVID kind of ate that up pretty quick.
What do you find, or who do you find is your biggest clientele, your demographic that's what you see the most of?
Yeah, it's a great question. I used to think it was a little bit different. I always thought it was people my age, mainly men, but believe it or not, our biggest demographic from the data that we're able to see is, people from 40 to 65 years old, mostly men, but it's pretty about like a 60-40 split. So it's not too crazy, but yeah, the older crowd really keeps us going, supports us. So that in turn, we're trying to do things in store that, cater to them a little bit, something, bringing back old school pieces that they haven't seen in 20 years, stuff like that.
What do you think has helped to make you so successful since you've launched?
Our customers, 100% without a doubt. We have a great owner, we have a great team. All those things are essential, but without a great customer base, you're just going to be treading water forever. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to do half the stuff we've done.
And well, I think so. If I could just go off of what Katy said, you're obviously you need the customers; they're your lifeblood.
Yes.
But the question that I would have and is something has to be responsible for those customers coming to you and staying with you. So to what do you attribute that?
I might be a little biased because it's my main job, but I think our aggressive marketing this past year has really helped. A lot of our radio ads, I've got people coming in specifically saying, hey, I like the ending of that. That was catchy, stuff like that. And a lot of them are first-time comers in. They hear that and they're like, damn, I wonder what that's like. Because how many smoke shops have commercials, It's not something most of them worry about.
You voice your commercials, don't you?
I do.
I was going to say, I recognize your voice a little bit.
And you've also sang on them.
You did.
Oh, yes,
you did. I forgot about
Not
that.
have come up.
Oh.
Is there any way we could hear what that was when you're under
Simple
pressure?
pleasures.
Oh,
simple pleasures.
Simple pleasures.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Katy was so proud the day that she did that.
I was very happy. She came through very clutch for me because there's no way I'd be able to get my voice the way I wanted it. But it was when you're
I guarantee
under
you her
pressure.
voice is not the way you wanted it either.
I don't know. It wasn't bad, man. I was like, ugh. Nah, it wasn't too loud.
You might
Be honest,
alone.
Yeah.
So if I walked into Simple Pleasures and I had no idea what I was doing, and I just walked in and said, tell me what would be how do I want to word this question? What is something in here that would benefit me? Where would you start me?
Well, it would depend. We got a lot of people coming in looking for CBD and other things. We have people coming in looking for gifts for other people. So it really kind of depend on what your needs were, what kind of person you were. But when you could come into our shop, you can expect to be greeted very quickly, very politely, and one-on-one customer and representative action. We'll stay with you the whole time until we get you out the door and make sure that you had the experience you were hoping for, if not better than that.
What is the most common question that you get? If you had the top one that when people come in, hey, here's what I need to know. What would you say people come up with?
Probably is our flower real.
Okay.
There's a lot of questions about that. Most people don't understand it, so we've been doing a very aggressive information campaign. With hemp and the THC stuff, it's very gray area with some of these people, but it comes down to the dispensaries are selling hemp THCA flower too, just like us. THCA is THCA. So once people start understanding that, I think that'll be a less coming up question, but we get it at least 10 times a day.
If someone otherwise uses a medical dispensary, is that something, can you guys handle that as well, or is that specific to, is there a certain criteria that needs to be met in order to do that?
Yeah, there is a certain criteria that needs to be met, and we actually had a little bit of legislation with the governor because we disagreed with how that process was. So that's what's got us to the point to be able to sell the hemp flower today. We're a very rare case. Only like 4 shops in Maryland are allowed to sell it right now. And it's because we were in that lawsuit that's really allowed us to do that.
Do you guys do anything to get out in the community and educate people? You were speaking about the misconceptions that people have. Do you ever do anything to clear those up?
Yeah, that's a great question. My newest project that I'm working on is I got with One Room Media, and we're going to be making some videos, kind of like information videos, but also kind of like cliche, old school, kind of goofy, you know what I mean? So I want to grab people's attention, but I want them to learn at the same time. And I want it to be, doesn't matter if you're 21 watching it or you're 71. I want both parties to be able to understand it with certainty.
Absolutely. And tell us again, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you and find you, where would they start?
Yeah, so they could start with our website, which is www.simplepea420.com. We kept that pretty simple. But honestly, anywhere that we have a contact line, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, any social media, email, I'm checking all of those very regularly. I think our biggest questions come from our website. I put a little chat bot that pops up, so we get a lot of questions from that. But it's the best. People get to find out what they need to know.
When do you have your next glass blowing session?
We're hoping to do something around 420, if not before that. But if that falls through, definitely in August for our annual block party.
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
It does
I
sound
like
fun.
the wine glass.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I'd be really interested in.
Let me ask you this, Hunter, before we let you go here.
Sure.
At the outset, Katy had mentioned about there's so many shops, and you even said, for every one that closes, 2 pop up.
Yep.
I've heard. I'm not going to say what I've heard because I want to see if it matches how you answer this. How do you explain so many of these shops opening? Is there a reasoning for it that you can see other than, okay, it's a hot market? What is that all it is?
So that's a very good question, and I have a pretty unique take on this. With the type of shops, I've been able to do a little investigation on their patterns and practices. To me, it seems like they find a shop that is doing very, very, very well, and they try to get as close to that shop as they can and kind of feed off of that customer base. Like, hey, we have one over here too, check us out. I think that's mainly what it is. There were smoke shops that were hearing about us, finding out about our success, and they wanted to try to piggyback off of that.
Here's what I had heard, is that with the potential of legislation opening it up wide for being able to sell certain products, they are merely there waiting for the moment to capitalize on that, because they know that when that happens, it's going to break wide and it's going to be crazy, and then everyone's going to be scrambling to get into this market.
Right.
So they want to have a foothold already. Whether they're selling a lot now, it's more of a long-term play or potentially long-term play if and when that legislation happens. Do you also hear that?
I do hear that. My answer to that would be those shops have a lot more faith in the legislation than they should. You can pay upwards of some cases $100,000 just for an application fee. And that's no guarantee that they pick your name out of the so-called lottery. So I think a lot of people have that hope, and I do think that is their main thing. But I think they're in for a rude awakening when it comes time to put their names on the final line. I don't know if it'll be them, because we've heard a lot of horror stories in other states about some of these licensing schemes, and that's actually why we went to court here in Hagerstown, Maryland. A Washington County judge actually agreed with us that the licensing schemes that the state of Maryland is doing is not right.
And now earlier, Hunter, I called you the owner. You are not. What is your title?
Yeah, so I'm right under the owner. There's me and another lady who's worked there for darn near 10 years. Her name is Sherry. So she does the operations type side of things in HR, and I'm marketing in HR.
And you said, how long has Simple Pleasures been there?
So we've been at that location since 2016, but we were just right down the street on Bauer Avenue since 2004.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea
It's a long
you've been
time, right?
around that long.
Yep, I've worked there since 2018.
Wow.
I've seen
That's
a lot.
awesome. That's great.
With our last couple minutes here, what do you say to someone who may have hesitation in general about visiting, curiosity but hesitation coming in, and followed up with why Simple Pleasures?
Great question. So I would tell them, you're not alone with the hesitation. You're not crazy for feeling that way. It's okay to be skeptical with stuff that you could potentially be putting in your body or using. You want to make sure that you're making a good purchase and it's sound advice. I can promise people that if they come to Simple Pleasures, they will have a customer interaction that is crazier than buying a car. We will be with you through that process, and it's impossible to leave without a smile on your face unless it's just not meant to be. I'm not going to say that we help 100% of the people that come in, because some of the people that come in, they're looking for something a little different. We don't have nothing to offer to them. So we're not going to try to sell them anything that they don't need.
Right.
We run into that a lot, but I think the biggest thing is the word of mouth in the community. I think that's why Simple Pleasures. We've started to get a big, big name in the community. When you think of anything smoke shop related, growing related, I think our name comes up like people's name comes up when they at Walmart when they got to get groceries or food.
Become
line.
the brand almost.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's working for us. So we're going to keep going in that direction, and we're going to maintain the customer over profits. we're willing to take a loss if it means the customer is getting what they want at the right price.
And I will
Absolutely.
keep providing that jingle for you.
I'll be glad to get it.
Under pressure. Well, Hunter, thank you so much for educating. I mean, this was very educational for me. This is an area that's new to me. So
Absolutely.
thanks for spending time with us today on Let's Talk Tri-State.
Appreciate it.
And coming
It's my
up, we're going to
pleasure.
take another look at news and sports. It's all powered by Legends Bar in Chambersburg. You can satisfy your sports fix at Legends Bar with game day specials and cold brews. You can find them on Hollywell Avenue in Chambersburg.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.